Hello, my name is Angela van der Kloof and I'm going to walk you through this mind map for the Virtual Cycling and Society Symposium. You find the start of this presentation on the grey text bar on the left, and it is the focus question: how can cities create gender plus aware cycling policies? Rather than presenting a full idea or a research, I present this question and the direction of my answer to the question. I hope it stimulates discussion and also research. The first mind map in the left corner presents 5 directions or categories of what can be done in the planning process for cycling. The first direction is represented by the orange line. It is to raise awareness of gender plus issues and barriers in cycling mobility. There is a growing body of research on different needs between different groups of people when it comes to cycling, and this should be used when developing cycling policies. This direction is then split up into creating an understanding of what an intersectional approach is and the question which tools and methods can be used. If you want to have a better understanding of what intersectionality is, please click on the red text, which will lead you to a short video. The plus behind the word gender refers to this intersectional approach and is used because it does more justice to differences between men and women. The tools and methods refer to the fact that this approach may need different or additional tools and methods in the process than just used up to now. The second direction is represented by the red line. Gender blindness and gender bias in all stages of the policy cycle must be combated. We should admit that up to now cycling policies have been framed as neutral, whereas in many cases, in reality, they are typically directed at white middle-aged men. We should have an open attitude to change this. The third direction is represented by the yellow line. Ideally, a participatory process for all stages of the policy cycle will be used so that different viewpoints and experiences are taken into account. The fourth direction is represented by the pink line. In order to create a gender plus aware cycling policy, it is preferred to cooperate with different city departments such as education, well-being and community development, as well as social security. Having access to cycling mobility creates opportunities, is good for health and community. Getting the other departments on board helps, for example, to define policy goals that go beyond the smooth handling of traffic. There are probably more directions or categories of thoughts that could be added. Next, we turn to the cycling policy cycle. And this starts in the other gray bar in the mind map. I used 5 steps of the policy cycle in this mind map. First, research and analysis of the current situation. Second, development of the cycling plan. Third, implementation of the plan. Fourth, monitoring. And lastly, 5, evaluation. For each step, I have identified ideas of how the directions of thought that we just went through could be translated into something tangible that the city can do. For the first step, the research and analysis of the current situation, in pink, I thought about the type of information that is typically collected about cycling. Sex and gender disaggregate data should be available and distracted from existing mobility surveys and other surveys. Also, evaluations of previous policies can be insightful as long as gender and sex disaggregate data is available. Potentially, the existing data should be complemented with qualitative research. Lastly, because we want a participatory process for all stages, it is a good idea to involve NGOs, such as women's groups, to contribute to the collection of data and information. The second step, the development of the cycling plan, in purple, consists of various elements. In setting objectives and goals, it is important to check for gender biases. For example, if the goal is to make cycling more competitive to driving, men would typically profit more compared to making cycling with children more attractive, which could typically be more beneficial for women, since still the majority of children are chauffeured by their mothers. In all elements of this step, it should be asked, what is the gender plus dimension? And is there anything we can do or take into account that supports gender plus equality in cycling? And again, also in this step, we will want to involve NGOs, such as women's groups, to contribute to the development of the plan. The third step is to implement the plan, which is in blue in the mind map. Again, we ask ourselves whether there are any gender biases or issues that should be taken into account. Also, other city departments are actively sought to contribute, which needs the breaking down of silos. And external partners, such as women's NGOs, are invited to take up tasks to implement and deliver projects. The fourth step is monitoring, in darker green. Already in the design of the monitoring plan, we should include a gender dimension. Other elements are to, again, include the women's NGOs and look outside the traffic silo for partners who may be able to deliver data for monitoring. I think, for example, about the library, a place where many people of the community go. What could they contribute to the monitoring process? The fifth and last step is the evaluation, in bright green. What have we achieved? Has cycling become more gender plus equal? And what can we learn in terms of content and process? I am curious to hear your thoughts on this thinking exercise, and in case you know of any concrete examples of cycling policies that are planned with a gender plus aware mindset, I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.